What's up? It is Brunch with Brittany. Welcome to my podcast. I am so happy to be back. Welcome back. I hope you have something to drink, okay? I'm doing some rosé today. And I was thinking, like, you know what we need to talk about? Let's talk about girls' trips, okay? Because I don't know if you have had the problem that I've had, but I think out of all of my girls' trips, they've all gone terribly. So I'm like, maybe we need to really visit this topic and figure it out, okay? Because I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Maybe you can help me. But I've been through so many different friend groups with girls' trips. And so I looked up some like good tips on how to ensure you have a better girls' trip where you remain friends after the trip. Because that's the other thing. For some reason, after every girls' trip, you lose either one friend, you lose the whole crew. Like nobody likes each other at the end of it, in the middle of it. So many things can go wrong. And like I said, I think I've been through every situation that could go wrong. So let's get into it. All right. So it says that some tips for planning a good girls' trip is to pick a place with lots of activities that your group enjoys, okay? Like it says hiking, water sports. That is not for me, okay? If the girl group wants to go somewhere like that, I'm not going. It's not for me. I know I'm going to sit that one out. Like, go have fun. I support it, but I will not partake in it. Shopping, make sure everybody's on the same page that they're going to be able to go shopping or they're going to enjoy window shopping, okay? Because some of the girls come with no funds, which to me boggles my mind. But everyone has like that one girl in the group that can't afford. No, I want to say can't afford. She didn't plan properly to bring the funds that were needed to really enjoy the trip, where she's trying to stay at the hotel and not spend any money. You don't want to go with that girl. You don't want to be that girl either. You drag the group down. It is horrible. It's like so annoying and everybody hates you on that trip. Just know if you are the broke one in the group going, still showing up, like you paid for the ticket, you pitched in for the room, but other than that, you don't got it, you shouldn't have went, sis. You're ruining everybody's time. Trust me. Don't do it. You'll lose a friend like that. Nobody wants to be around that. All right, they say be flexible with splitting up into smaller groups, doing different things. This one, I always felt like if we're doing a girls trip, we're doing everything together. Like, duh, why else did we choose to go together with the girls, So that one I wouldn't like. But if you're with a girl who doesn't like that, who's like totally okay with going somewhere on her own or splitting off from the group, right? Like she sees a cute guy and she's like the wild one. So she goes missing, and you're in a different city and it's not like you're back home somewhere local where you're like, she'll be fine. No, we're in a different city. Like you cannot just be running off with other people. But maybe there's a friend group that loves that. That's like, hey, girl, we're doing wherever the wind takes us. Like, that's what I'm doing. So do your thing. I'll text you, and I think that's the other thing is that the girls don't do that. They're not texting. They're not communicating. That part, they're not communicating. They're disappearing. And then you're like, where did Stacy go? Like, answer your phone. Her phone's dead, and that's the time she chooses to disappear. It's so annoying, so unsafe. I don't like that. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that to someone. So that's not for me. Not for me. All right, so they say don't overschedule. Allow time for downtime and individual activities. Again, that's not for me. We're not doing individual stuff. Like we're doing this stuff together. Otherwise, why are we here? So that wouldn't work for me. Plan meals. Decide how you're going to eat out and if everyone has to help out with cooking. I guess that's kind of like if you do a hotel versus an Airbnb, because when you do the Airbnb, like I remember one girls trip I went on and we did an Airbnb. It was somewhere in like Fort Lauderdale area, super chill side of town. It was beautiful, had a pool and everything. It was relaxing. There were like 8 of us girls, maybe 6, somewhere around there. And we all got groceries. And we had one girl that was like, she liked to cook. So we're like, you're in charge. We'll help. We'll pitch in. We'll buy the groceries. But you are in charge. So she did. She was Latina. So she cooked like a Spanish meal. I don't remember what it was, but it was Spanish. So it requires some deep frying. So tell me why. This is the other thing. Like, Okay, so she cooks, right? And we all eat. It was good. Well, it was late night. So at the end of the night, she goes by herself outside and she pours the hot grease out into the grass. And she's trying to dispose of the grease. Like if you've ever deep fried something, you know there's a lot. You can't leave it behind at the Airbnb. So she does that, right? And none of us know. Again, she did this late at night, decided to do this on her own. So she was not the girl that the Airbnb's credit card was attached to, all right? It was attached to one girl because you know how that works, and then everybody gives the money, which is can be a whole nother episode. But so she did that. Tell me why the Airbnb, the owner sends an email when we get back from the trip with a charge, okay? It was like a $300 charge for pouring out the oil into it was fake grass. We didn't know it was fake grass outside, but it was completely fake grass. And she threw it out. So obviously, like, where's it gonna go? It's fake, it's burnt, like you could see it. And then the funniest thing was that it was all on video. You know, Airbnb, like they got their cameras out, security cameras. So yeah, they sent the video with it too. Oh, it was so legit. We couldn't even argue it, right? Like there was we have to pay this. So it goes on my girl's credit card and she is livid because she's like, why would you do that? What were you thinking? I get both sides, okay? It happens. But the girl did end up paying her. However, it could have went the other way where the girl was like, I'm not paying for that. Cheers. What's up, everybody? It's Brittany Gonzalez here, and my Brunch with Brittany podcast is back. Look out, new episodes coming your way. It is a girl's girl podcast. And fellas, you'll learn something too. So make sure you are following Brunch with Brittany on all platforms, YouTube, iHeartRadio, TikTok, Brunch with Brittany. Catch me there. Get ready. There's more coming. All right, so it says set a budget. I think that's number one. Number one, you should already set a budget. Like, what is this gonna cost? A lot of the girls wanna go on trips and they're not really taking into account, like, for me, I like to go eat. I like to eat good food. I don't wanna just eat a slice of pizza that's, a $6.99 somewhere. And like, I went on a girls trip with a girl like that. She didn't care where we ate. I did. So it was like she was always trying to pick those kind of spots. And I'm like, we're out traveling. That's not my thing. I'm not going to have a good time doing that. But in her mind, she's like, well, I'm on a budget. Well, I didn't know that ahead of time. So I'm not going to budge for her budget. So it was some discourse there. Didn't end our friendship, but definitely made me rethink why we should have had that conversation to begin with. You got to go with with the girls that match your energy, that match your vibe, right? Like I like to eat. I don't care about that. So if it's important to you, then you need to make sure that you both think it's important, because otherwise pick a different friend. Oh my goodness. All right. Consider creative activities. I like this one, like try thrifting. I have a girlfriend who I didn't know she thrifts. She can thrift. When you have those conversations, you can figure that out. Like, oh, are we going to this city? Okay, what do they have available there? Now, that being said, there's activities that you can do. Some of the girls may not mention that, like, oh, I'm not really into that. They might go along with it. And then you get there and they're like wishy-washy, don't want to book it. You better book in advance, okay? If the girl does not book with you in advance, do not wait until you get there to the location to book that trip, because I promise you she's gonna oversleep it. She's not gonna show up. She's gonna be like, whatever, I don't wanna do it. Meanwhile, the whole time you're like, we said we were gonna do this. Don't disappoint yourself like that. It will happen way more than you would like it to. Invite the right people. Like I said, you got to have those conversations in the beginning, girl, because even if you get along, right? Like you're like, I always have fun with this girl or this group. It's different when you go into a different city with that group. Again, everything changes. The budget, the location, the safety of it all, and some girls just don't care. So you need to make sure that you're like, no, this is important to me, that we stick together. We came together, we leave together, things like that. The group chat. Okay. So you definitely, I think every girl trip does this. Like we start a group chat and we talk about like, this is what we're going to do. Or, we're just all excited about it. But with the group chat, you also need to be active in that group chat, because I've had where there's someone who kind of takes control of it, and it says, hey guys, I was thinking about this, and they'll send the links, right? They'll say like, we're gonna go kayaking at night with glow in the dark kayaks, and some of the group is like excited about, or nobody responds at all, and then that person is feeling like, I'm over here planning, thinking, trying to interact with you girls, and it's dry in the group chat. No, you are that red flag. You definitely don't want to go with those girls. You don't want to go with those girls. It is a sign that they are going to be disappointing you every step of the way. Okay, like they're not committal. They're not committing. So you don't want to deal with that. That's a red flag. Don't even go on that trip. I promise you. I had to learn that one the hard way, and I hated that. Okay. Have a general dress code. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so I remember I went on a girls trip, and I like to wear outfits, go take pictures, get dressed up. That's my thing. I love that. And I have, maybe I shouldn't say it's like me, right? I should be saying like, oh, this other girl that, I know did this. But I had a girlfriend. Love her. Love how she dresses. She dresses up when she goes out. But for some reason, on this trip, she's decided, oh, I'm just going to wear jeans and a bun. And I was so not expecting that. Okay, I'm dressed to the nines in heels too, walking around the city. And she's like in sneakers, messy bun, hair's not done, jacket. I just was not expecting that. I was like, no, wait, but you dress up. This is what I'm saying. You don't know until you're there in the moment. And you're assuming like, but she dresses nice, so why would she do that on a trip? I don't know. You can't assume for people. So plan those outfits together. An idea like, girl, day one, we're going to go more comfy, but cute. Okay. Hair done, buns. We're not doing that. Don't match my energy or don't, and some girls are fine with it. Some girls will be like, I'll be dressed up and I don't care what you look like. Oh, that's cool too. Just know what you're getting yourself into when it comes to that, because if that's important to you, it's going to be a problem. And it was for me, because I was like, girl, like in my videos, if I was panning the place and like she'd be there, I'd be like, I can't use that content now because she's not going to feel good about it. So now I can't use that. So that was one of my many experiences of learning that the hard way of those things. And I just want us to have better girls trips. And if you are really good at them, like, what am I doing wrong other than not communicating well enough? Because clearly it's just been a disaster for me, bad experiences. I think I've met one girl that was like, I always have the best time on girls trips. And I'm like, no, I'm ready to like fight at the end of it or leave that friendship. So I got a lot of work to do, but I need help, and I don't want other people to go through it. If you are planning a girls trip, start that group chat. Be very clear about the vibe, the energy, the budget, what you want to do, and anything, like I said, when you want to book ahead. Do not wait until you get to that city to try and book. It's not going to happen, okay? It's just not. It's probably not. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. So those are my tips, my advice for girls trips. But you can always feel free, leave in the comments stuff that went right, stuff that went wrong, something I didn't cover. Let me know. This is the Brunch with Brittany podcast. It's a girl's girl podcast, and I just want us to, be better. So that is it. You can catch this on iHeartRadio, on our app. Make sure you're following it. Hit subscribe. And click that on the top right for getting notifications for when this podcast drops. Should be every Sunday. Look out for it. I'm Brittany Gonzalez, and that's Brunch with Brittany.